Welcome to the Blue House Bull Session. We are happy to be with you here again on this Wednesday, April 24th.
April. You got it. Good job.
With our good
It's the
friend
date
and
with
guest
all the fours
today,
and the twos.
Gannon 11, who I brought here to talk about one of the things in this, which side is it on? My little box up here, our not sponsor box. This one, the Metroid Marathon Prime, coming up this weekend for direct relief. What the hell is that all about?
Yeah. We don't have the money to sponsor you. We would if we could. Maybe.
I don't want the paid content checkbox. I just want to help out my friends, especially those helping out good causes.
Exactly. So did you ask what it was all about?
Yeah, tell us a little bit about
Yeah,
what we can expect this weekend.
sure. So this weekend we are going to be playing. Oh, what is the? It's around 30 hours, maybe a little bit more than 30 hours of Metroid and Metroid related content. We will be streaming this all on twitch.tv/Metroid_marathon. And during it, we'll be telling dumb jokes and telling silly stories, and we'll probably come up with some silly donation incentives. And we'll be fundraising for Direct Relief, which is a group that sends emergency aid and medical supplies around the world, including something like 80 different countries and all 50 United States. And we're very happy to do it. This is something like our fifth or sixth main event. We're
I-
calling it Metroid Marathon Prime. We like prime numbers. We're going to play all the Metroid Prime games. Yes, including Metroid Prime Pinball.
Yeah,
So,
I am excited
I'm
beyond reason for that one.
yeah, I'm excited. It's a lot of energy. I'm actually packing up to travel to our main location tomorrow, and I have not started packing, so it's gonna go great.
That
Uh,
sounds really familiar. A lot of people that follow me may know you from Zeldathon before the
mhm.
Metroid Marathon and all of that too. So um, you get involved in a fair amount of game related charity work from the sound of it.
Well, so it is kind of the intersection of two of my greatest loves, right? Like I obviously love video games and video gaming. It's kind of why I've built a shrine to video gaming back here and also a laundry detergent cup that I have not moved downstairs. Um and charity, I personally feel like I have been I will use the term blessed. I have been blessed and I feel like the correct way to respond to that is to give out of that blessing to people who are in need. And so I feel like stuff like Zeldathon, stuff like Metroid Marathon, and other stuff like that is just kind of that's the perfect alley and avenue for me to kind of explore and support those two interests.
You know, I kind of have a similar feeling. I ended up in a set of circumstances where I ended up being pretty fortunate, and I want to use that to help take care of some other people. You know,
Yeah.
spread the good fortune around. So it's good to see we're like minded on that.
Hmm.
Um, so you say this is like the fifth Metroid Marathon like main event that you've run?
So I need to actually count. I think it's our sixth main event. But if you include the two side events that we did, which would be other marathon and another other marathon, then it would be our eighth event total. So I've been doing these not quite yearly since 2017. We actually did the first one in April 2017 or April 2016. I forget which. And it was before I got involved in Zeldathon. But at the time, I was a viewer of Zeldathon, and I basically said, like, well, my favorite video game franchise is Zelda. I'm not gonna try and do this with Zelda. Zeldathon already kind of has that on lockdown.
Yeah.
What's my second favorite video game franchise? Metroid. Okay, let me do what Zeldathon does, but for Metroid. And I put together a team. I got in contact with some friends from college, as well as a coworker, and we put together the first Metroid Marathon. And that first Metroid Marathon was a mistake. It was it was awful. It was bad. It is not recorded for posterity, and I think that's probably for the best. It was a weekend long, and we raised a total of $178. And you know what? That was more than would have been raised had we not done it.
That is true.
Uh, but we didn't do some things that you really want to do for an event like this, like practice your games.
Fair.
So we had someone playing, I think it was Prime 2 for the first time, and that was just like all Saturday. That's all they did was play Metroid Prime 2 from like 5 in the evening until like 4 in the morning. Um, so definitely a lot of things that we learned from that. And then have we kept going on a yearly basis for a while. Then when COVID hit, we kind of broke that stride. We did an all remote event that we called Other Marathon, where we did some Metroid games, but we also did some non Metroid games. And then we did another Other Marathon a year later or a year and a half later, where we did Metroidvania games. And you basically weren't allowed to play anything if it had Metroid in the title. Um,
I
but
like
starting
that.
about a year and a half ago, we did another marathon right after Dread came out. We did another marathon because we really wanted to celebrate the fact that Metroid Dread had come out. And so that was Metroid Bread was our marathon name. And now we're doing Metroid Marathon Prime.
I'm into that. And I don't know if it's like endemic to people that get into this scene in general, but I noticed you thought to yourself, "Hey, I'd like to do one of these. What's my favorite franchise?" Is that communal to like the people in our circle where you're like, "I want to run one of these now," because I've had that thought many times now.
Yeah. I think so. I mean, it was literally that thought for me. It was literally I want to do that, but I want to do it.
Yeah.
And that was when I was still in the mindset of like, well, those people, I'll never be able to be involved in Zeldathon. Fast forward a couple of years, I got involved in Zeldathon, which is really cool. Uh, so I mean, it just seemed like they were having so much fun and being so goofy, and I just wanted to do that as well. Um, I mean, we also have friends from Zeldathon who have spun off and created these type of events for other franchises or for other characters or for other things. I mean, we had a Kirby-thon that was running for a while. We had a Tingle-thon that ran for a while. Uh, yeah,
Don't
Fuzzy's making a
don't
that is the correct reaction.
don't
That is the
forget PP
correct
for
face to
G.
make when someone mentions Tingle-thon.
Yeah.
There's still Mini Kit Marathon, which is all based on the Lego games.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, there's a lot of um, the like Zeldathon extended family just keeps growing, and then that's not even mentioning other groups that are like tangentially related to us, like the Metroid Database crew or Zelda Universe or the Speed Gamers, or of course the people that are involved in Zeldathon who are also involved in GDQ and stuff. So like the charity marathon space is all we're all kind of
It's intertwined. It's a
yes,
family bush.
yes. It's a family undirected cyclical graph, just loops and loops and loops.
Is that a
Yeah.
name for a data structure? A wreath? Is there a data structure called a wreath? Because if there's not, it should be. A
I'm sure
cyclic
there is.
directed graph would be.
Yeah. Um, I'm sure there is. There's like circular buffers. That's gotta be related, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
say, having seen the class name circular buffer in the boost namespace, and that being the limit of my knowledge of what a circular buffer is.
Family tree in some states.
Yeah.
Tee tee.
Hmm.
So are we going to be able to rope you in when we start the Hurglethon and everyone plays Hurgle games for charity? Are you going
I
to
mean,
come play Can Do? Are you going to come play a Sudoku?
I think I'm gonna play. What is it? Smort. I like
Yes,
Smort.
smart.
Is that still? Do I
it's
know the? Yeah, I like
it is
Smort.
yeah.
Ooh, and the last time I played it, I won. It says you win.
Nice.
Excellent job. Thanks.
Nice.
All right, catch me playing Smort in the other tab while we continue.
What are some of your favorite moments from the Metroid marathons, from the events you've done? What are your big memories? What are the things that stick out and you're like, man, this was worth it?
um, gosh, this is worth it. There have been okay. Um, there's a couple things that come to mind. One is uh we had a moment in I think our second or third event where I think we were interviewing someone from the charity, or like someone had just come into our chat and said, at the time we were raising for Extra Life,
Yeah.
which is like a branch of the Children's Miracle Network of hospitals. And I think someone had just come into our chat and said, like, hey, I was in a children's hospital when I was a kid suffering some condition. They really helped me out. They're the reason I'm alive today. So this is a cause that's really, really important to me. And I'm really glad that you're here. They said it very elegantly and wonderfully. And we read it aloud and we all kind of shared a moment of like, oh, it's really touching. And then just then, our friend Mark came back from like using the bathroom. Like he came back on stream and we said, Mark, can you follow up that, epic speech, that really meaningful, heartfelt speech with something equally epic? And he said, look, I feel very strongly that there are two types of metal. There's metal, and then there's metal. And it was hilarious. Like they dropped the entire room laughing because he said it with such intensity. Like, yeah, I can absolutely match that heartwarming moment with my passion for the different types of metal.
He's not
Uh,
wrong though. That's the
he's
important
not
part there.
wrong.
It's true.
I mean, that's what made it so funny. So like that was really funny. That's the moment that stands out to me. And then I think the moment that stands out to me from every event is and Jay, I'm not actually sure if you know about this. Do you know what the slench is?
I do not. I do not. I'm in big trouble now.
Ooh, no, it's story time. So, all right, I founded Metroid Marathon, and that's cool. But Metroid Marathon is really supported by one idea, and it's the best idea I've ever come up with. It is the one thing that I am the most proud of in the charity gaming space. It's not what games I know, it's not what fun incentive I did, it's not what events I'm a part of. It's one thing, and it's the Slench Pizza. The Slench Pizza is a pizza whose toppings are determined by donations to charity. So
Ooh.
for this marathon, in fact, one of the things I have to do tonight, uh, Lego Jedi, you just got to come up with a name other than Slench. Call it, I don't know, call it something Lego based. But Lego Jedi knows because I've talked about this before because I'm incredibly proud of this idea. Um, for this weekend, we're going to start out. I'm going to put down some nominal amount, like $50. And I'm going to say, okay, I've donated $50 to charity. I'm going to put 25 of that towards having sauce on this pizza and 25 of that towards having cheese on this pizza. So we start out the event having a cheese pizza. It's got sauce, it's got cheese. Jay, you could donate $10 and say, you know what? Let's add pepperoni to this pizza. But then Fuzzy could come along and say, wait, I hate pepperoni. I'm going to donate $15 to remove pepperoni from the pizza. And I'm going to donate $5 to add pineapple to the pizza. And then Legos Jedi would come in and say, no, 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 you got this all wrong. Donate $100, 30 to remove cheese, 30 to remove sauce, 30 to remove pineapple, and 10 to add anchovies. And all of this has happened within 5 minutes. Uh, we keep doing that and we keep track of the donations for and against any topping. And at the end of the event, we will order that pizza. And it has come up with some disgusting, disgusting pizzas. I'm pretty sure every time we've ordered, like if we use an online form, within 5 minutes we get a call back from the restaurant saying, like, hey, are you sure? Because this is gonna be terrible.
I
Uh
Man, I also need to steal this idea now. I will come up with a name, but by God, we need to do this. This is
yeah.
amazing.
It's incredible. It's the main donation driver for Metroid Marathon because as I'm sure you can imagine, like people love charity, which is legitimately true and good. And I won't say they love this more, but in addition, they love making people suffer
Yeah.
in like a limited manageable way. Like we'll make you eat a pizza with weird stuff on it. Um
Whatever we end up with at the end of this weekend as a remote participant, I think I'm going to have to get one for myself. We'll make a video of me eating it too. Why not?
yeah. We've made some disgusting stuff. The last time we did a Metroid Marathon Slench pizza, it ended up being a no sauce, no cheese, add jalapeno, add garlic. So
I could
we ordered,
see that. It stops being a pizza at some point, but I could see a spicy garlic bread.
but there's nothing to bind the jalapeno or the garlic to the bread.
It,
So what we
yeah.
actually got was a box with bread and loose jalapeno on it, and they forgot the garlic. And and I
Your
wasn't gonna
nun
call back and
pizza
be
with the
like, "You
left
forgot
beef.
a."
Yeah.
Yeah. That was maybe the most minimal pizza we've had. We've also had a pizza that was like every kind of cheese. So like ricotta and mozzarella and cheddar and and feta and like goat cheese, and just each piece of pizza weighed like 3 pounds.
I'm here for
It
it.
was so heavy with cheese. Um
100% I'm here for that.
So like a
the
like a
first lunch
deep
we did,
dish type thick.
uh yes, but the crust wasn't that thick. It was
Not
just that much
Yeah,
cheese.
not deliberately deep dish,
It
accidental
was a
deep
lot.
dish.
It was so much. The first lunch pizza we did is the first time I've ever had anchovy, and that first anchovy pizza I still think is not bad. It was not terrible. Every time I've had anchovy since then, it's been awful. So,
Mm.
ooh, my Alexa is telling me what the weather is.
Wonderful.
Okay, it's telling me it's going to be cold tomorrow.
Oh no. Boo. Boo.
It's okay.
Fire
I'm
Yeah,
going to
we
be
sale
had a
on
driving all day
that.
tomorrow.
we had a frost advisory all day today through tomorrow.
No wonder I woke up feeling like a corpse. I
No, no,
left
no,
my
not
window
frostbite.
open.
Freeze warning. A freeze warning is in effect.
Yeah. It's spring. What's going on? Get it together, people.
Where's
Weather
all this
people.
global warming that the something liberals?
Rabble, rabble. It was a nice day today. So much for global warming.
Yeah, exactly. Man.
So yeah, I think those are some of my proudest moments of Metroid Marathon. Is just every time we bite into a Slench pizza, and I think like this pizza cost me, like sometimes they end up with a lot of toppings, and so one pizza will cost me like $30.
Yeah.
But then I look at the amount that it raised, and it's like $1,500 of donations toward or against toppings. I'm like, yeah, that's 9,000% worth it. I'm so
I
happy with
I
it.
have leveraged $30 into over 1,000 for charity, and I get
Yeah,
fed out of it, whether or not it's any good.
yeah. It usually isn't.
Yeah, whatever we end up with this weekend, I'm definitely gonna order on behalf of the team too, and like
Hmm.
eat. By the
We will
way, thank
appreciate
you
your
again
sacrifice.
for letting me join in on this event. I am super excited for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll be
I mean, we had talked about it, I think, over this past summer
yeah.
about how you were like, "How do I get involved?" I was like, I mean, at the time I was full in Zoltathon mode, so I was like, "Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me about Metro Marathon. Can't handle this."
It doesn't
But then
exist right
eventually just
now.
thought, um, let's figure out a fun way to do that. And this hasn't been announced publicly, so I'll give just a short teaser that Jay has developed a game that will be played on stream on Saturday,
Yeah,
and it is
one
Metroid related.
one of the forgotten members of the Metroid series. One of the
Yeah,
neglected children hidden in a corner.
exactly. So look forward to that. It's going to be silly. It's going to be silly and it's going to be fun, which is kind of the energy that we aim for at Metroid Marathon.
I don't know if I could get involved in a serious marathon. I would love to see one or visit one, but I need one with the looser feel. GDQ's
Yeah,
coming up, and that's like right at that edge of they do things a little too seriously for me to genuinely get involved with. Also, I'm terrible at speedrunning video games, but
yeah, exactly.
I digress. I do have one world record right now, but it's not on any leaderboard because nobody runs a leaderboard except for me. And that
Is
is,
it?
of course, Quest for Zelda on the Radio Shack color computer.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Mudoku's digits.
No, I've been beaten. I've been beaten.
Get it together. Come
I
on.
know. I need to practice. I need to challenge some of these other folks that are actually playing it and telling me times. I need to race
Well,
Small
that really does depend on your seed and what items are even in the run, because you can
True.
get just
That's true. That's
Yeah.
something I have picked up on the development side is if you're going to make something random, add a seed to it.
Yep.
Have a way to allow for replayability.
or
Yeah.
just make sure everybody's playing on the same crappy random seed.
Yeah, yeah. As long as it's consistent,
Mm-hmm.
it can be awful as long as it's consistent.
Because if you get the boots in your bonus chest at the start, you're just
chugging along in triple speed to begin with. Yeah, I was watching Crafty Boss last night. Last night, working on something for Prime Remastered. I don't know what he said publicly about it yet or anything, but I'm interested to see what he does with his Prime Remastered rando that he's putting together. I don't know. I'm getting into randos and
This game?
yes, that game. Oh, that game.
Yeah, it's
He's
pretty
got
good.
the physical one.
Remaster. How good could it be?
I just have the bits that floated through the internet. Y'all got your actual physical copies of games. I'm jealous, man.
Yeah, I like doing that so that I can theoretically pack all these games up and take them to someone else's house and I don't know, run a weekend long event based on
now. Here's the
their Switch,
question:
for example.
which version do you have outward facing? Because it's one of the few ones that has it has an actual usable outward cover on the outside. What's on your
Oh,
back?
I think I switched that immediately to the stylish
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great minds think alike,
Man,
but
oh
fools
Because
man.
seldom
it's a
differ.
better front cover. It really is.
I don't know. I mean, this one on the inside. Oh, look, the game. This one on the inside is like iconic. I don't know. It's just like it's such a neutral pose, but it's also such a power pose.
Yeah, but remember with Prime and all the HUD, and it's got that nice little overlay thing. Like it looks more Prime-y.
Yeah, I think I want to say this is actually from Prime 2, like this static image, but it's like the
It
same
might
model.
be.
I could buy that. Gannon and Fuzzy have both seen the ending screen from the secret game I'll be running. That would definitely be the box art for if I ever did a physical release of whatever it is.
I would love you releasing that, and like the box is just a little thumb drive that just has one file, and it's a redirect to the website.
Oh, that would be perfect. I love it. That's how the modern age works, man. It's all bits over the wire anyway, so.
And a text file, cdkey.txt. And inside it just says LOL.
Uncrackable.
Yeah. I got that DRM, you know what I'm saying? Because I sure don't. All right.
I have thumb drives like that are just an installer and a cdkey.txt, and that's all that's on that thumb drive.
We've had this conversation briefly before, but I have to ask again in public where everyone can hear it and it's on record. What's the best Metroid game?
So it depends. It depends on who you are as a gamer. If you're asking me what my favorite Metroid game is, uh which one's my favorite?
It's tough, ain't it?
Depending on the day, I'll give one of three answers. And I have really good justifications for each of them. So if you ask me today, probably because it's the last time or it's the most recent one I played, but I'd have to answer with this game.
Yeah.
It is the latest entry in the series. It plays so smooth. It's super fun. It's challenging in a way that is fun and exciting to be challenged in a way that I think plays to one of the strengths. So one of the strengths of the Metroid series is the idea of growing in strength. Like you start very weak, and by the end you feel very strong. That is, sorry, my cat just appeared and distracted me.
They
Like
all
that
are.
is maybe maybe my favorite part of Super Metroid. It's my favorite part of Zero Mission, and it's definitely like that is the best part of Dread. And it capitalizes on that by giving you legitimately difficult boss fights,
Yeah.
so that I mean, again, I hate this comparison, but I'm going to do it because I've started playing these games. It's like Dark Souls. Yay! Hit the button. He said it. It's like Dark Souls, and then it presents you a real challenge, so that when you overcome that challenge, you feel like you're on top of the world. You feel like you're unstoppable, and that is a very attractive feeling. So I really, really like Dread for that reason. Um, if you caught me on a different day, I would say Zero Mission is my favorite Metroid game, because Zero Mission came out, pretty soon after I got into the series, and was simple enough and fun enough that I could play it over and over and over again and get pretty good at it, and even dip my toe into the speedrunning scene. I never got really into the speedrunning it, but it was accessible enough that you could do it.
Yeah.
And I think that captures like a really good balance of challenge, but also just you feel strong because you can just kind of go through that game super fast anyway, with good exploration and stuff. Good backtracking, meaning when you have to backtrack through an area, you'll usually have some new item or ability that makes you able to go through that area much faster than the last time you were there.
The area feels different as you progress.
Yeah. Um, and then on another day, if you ask me, I would say Metroid Prime, because Metroid Prime was the first Metroid game I played. So it still has that nostalgia spot for me. And it looks beautiful. I think the Prime series is really where the like exploring a beautiful environment came to be like the big strength of the series.
Yeah.
Because the whole Prime series looks incredible. Now, those are definitely in my top three. The order changes day to day, but they are definitely in my top three. Which of those is the best? It depends on which of those things you find to be your favorite part of a video game. Like which of those appeals the most to you. There are people who I think are gonna 100% go for the challenging boss fights of Dread. There are people who I think are really going to go for the intense speedrunning type feel of Zero Mission. And I think there are people who those things sound too challenging or too much or just not what they're interested in. And I think Prime is great for them. So
I can dig that. I
all
can
three are
dig
the
that.
best.
Okay,
Very
well, Zero
diplomatic
Mission
answer.
was in there, so your answer is correct.
Hmm.
I was very slow, and I'm older than like Dirt's grandfather, so I remember Metroid NES launching and being like, I want this game, and the challenge level for my little itty bitty kid age was astronomical.
Yeah. I mean, it's challenging today.
Yeah, when when Zero Mission dropped, I got back into Fusion. When Fusion dropped, I got back into the series. Um, and Zero Mission took what I remembered from the original one and made it into a game I could enjoy, not just a game I
Yeah.
could play. And so Zero Mission has a very strong pull for me. Fusion, I have just an emotional attachment to.
Hmm.
I don't know that I'd say it's the best, but it's one of the ones that represents the story very well and gives
Yeah.
you some insight into the universe, even if the gameplay mechanics aren't quite what they could have been. But I was scared of the 3D ones for the longest time. I could not make the transition into that third dimension, and I just got into Prime Remastered. So I'm seeing now what I've been missing out on. And then Fuzzy just let me borrow Dread so I can go through that for the first time now. So my answer is
Yeah.
subject to change too, but right now, without having played all of them, I gotta say Zero Mission.
Yeah.
How about
Fuzzy,
you,
what about
Fuzzy?
you?
2, Game Boy, black and white, postage stamp.
Samus takes up like a third of the screen.
I would love Metroid 2 in either Zero or even just Super Metroid or anything else where it's an actual like proper full screen with HUD and not the world is this big and we're going to show you a window this big at a time.
Yeah.
Just any other, the exact game, just in a bigger viewport window as is. Don't change anything else. Maybe give you a little bit of HUD information, but that's it. Just a bigger viewport to the same crappy black and white experience. That's all I want.
You know, a lot of us were so hopeful that the reason Nintendo was so aggressively going after AM2R is because they had one coming, and I'm still praying for it. That's what I want. I want my Metroid 2 remake.
But hold on, I probably have it in this bag. What is this doing in here?
Oh dear.
I don't have it. Oh, this isn't all my games. I must have it digitally.
Uh-oh.
Maybe it is in here and this box is just packed. Nope, that's my copy of Pinball
Yay!
from Hunters.
Best
but
Metroid game.
Now, I may be being nerd sniped here, but there is an actual Nintendo Metroid 2 remake. You know that, right? Am I just being nerd baited?
No, I actually am ignorant in this respect. You have my curiosity piqued now.
Look up Metroid Samus Returns. It's a 3DS game, and it's a remake of Metroid 2.
Is it really?
Yeah.
What?
Well, Samus Returns was the subtitle of
Right.
Metroid 2.
Right.
No, it was Metroid 2 Return of Samus.
Okay.
Was the original Game Boy title.
Yes, now we're being nerd baited.
I'm serious. Look it up.
Metroid Samus Returns.
What did this
2017
come out
action-adventure
on?
game.
Oh, 3DS.
Yeah.
I never got a 3DS, and I missed out on every single game that ever came out on a 3DS. And I'm
So
sad about it.
if you've played Dread, you've played the better
Most of it.
version of this.
Okay.
This is the game that introduced the melee counter, and that is maybe its greatest strength and its greatest weakness, is that the melee counter is legitimately cool and fun to use for about 20 minutes. And then 3 hours later, you're like, if I have to wait another 5 seconds for this enemy to attack so I can melee counter it for the 17th time through this room, I'm going to scream. I like the game. It's also not what you were asking for, right? It is not literally the Game Boy game. It's a redo and a remake into the next generation and
I
stuff.
could take a reimagining, but
Yeah.
no, I didn't even realize this was a thing.
Yeah. This is a real thing.
Neat.
Huh.
Which, again, you were right. The reason why they went after AM2R so hard is because this was literally in the pipeline and came out like a year later.
Well, that explains a whole lot of things. I have learned something useful today.
Unless it wasn't, and they Babylon 5'd it.
No, I would believe with the time investment that they put into these games, and they do. It shows that it was at least in the works at the time. So
Yeah.
definitely gonna have.
Oh, I remember this now. I remember seeing the amiibo, and this is the one that had the broken Metroid canister amiibo for it. I remember this now.
Neat. All right, well, now there's no two ways about it. I got to get a 3DS for that, and so I can.
You can find a 2DS. Get a 2DS.
I still got to find a way to bootleg Zelda Picross because I want to play that, and Triforce Heroes. All of those.
To the Bay of
Triforce Heroes still be played. I mean, I guess the multiplayer servers are down, so you couldn't play across the internet, but could you still play locally?
I
Yeah.
think
Oh
so.
yeah.
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 And you mentioned not knowing anything about the 3DS games. There is another 3DS game. It's called Federation Force.
I remember hearing about this one because that's
Okay.
the one where you played as other bounty hunters, right?
No. So, get the bag. So, Metroid Prime Hunters is a Nintendo DS game.
That's why.
Mhm.
In Metroid Prime Hunters, in the main story, you play as Samus, but in the multiplayer, you can play as one of 6 different hunters. Samus is one of them, and then there's 5 others. Metroid Prime Federation Force, you play as just a member of the Federation who creates some mechs that are essentially power armors like Samus. And it's got a story mode. So, Jay, you know Triforce Heroes?
Yes.
Okay, now imagine if Triforce Heroes had 4-player co-op instead of 3-player co-op, and was a 3D Metroid game rather than a 3D Zelda game, and that is literally Federation Force. Like every exact strength and weakness.
I hate
Is the
to
same.
admit how appealing that sounds. Like, this is now something I want to get into.
And the multiplayer servers are down, and we don't know if you can play local play. But game
Oh,
exists. It is
Nintendo was
a
always
game.
really good about local play.
Sorry.
Nintendo was always really good about local play because it
Mhm.
just it's device to device.
I hope so. We'll set
Yeah, me
up our
too.
own bootleg servers for it. Why not? We'll
That
we'll
is
make
also
a multi-world cross-play between that and Triforce Heroes. I'll get
Oh my
crafty on it right
gosh.
now. Wouldn't that be great?
Ugh.
You know what I want? Okay, I have played SMZ3 Rando a fair amount. I am not fast, but I enjoy it. I want a I say Super Metroid, but that's a half truth. What I want is Zero Mission, but that's beside the point. I want a 2D Metroid and Symphony of the Night crossover rando. And it's never going to happen because of technological issues and the fact that they're different platforms. But that
Well-
is the game I want.
No. If you want Symphony of the Night, the handheld version has Aria of Sorrow. It's the exact same mechanics and engine, and it was on the Game Boy because it was like the good one.
All right, you got my curiosity with that.
So
We could
it's
do
a lot
that.
closer to put those. Yeah,
We could
And
probably do that if we get them on the same system.
that was one of the few games, and it's like a real short list over the whole thing that did cartridge stuff.
Yeah.
If you started the game, if you had the other Castlevania DS game, or not DS, yeah, DS game in there when you started it, you got different stuff. You got like a bonus ring at the start that gave you like plus 20% soul capture rate or something, which was a huge boost, but you just had to have the right cartridge in when you started it.
All right.
That's something I wish they would have done more things in the same series.
Yeah, I'm into that. Is Symphony of the Night an archipelago? I can never remember. The list of
just
what's
looked that
available
up.
in there.
I just looked that up. The only Castlevania game that is on Archipelago currently is Castlevania 64.
Really?
That's weird.
I'd have thought more of the like Nintendo handheld ones would have been. Well, not that I'm ever wanting for projects, but there's something I could look into.
No.
Stop adding to the inbox list.
Look, I still want to add archipelago support for Mudoku's Digits, which we are actively talking about reworking now and putting out as its own thing. It will be coming. You will be receiving Digit Dungeons Deluxe one of these days. And
Including the lost levels of the Dark World.
yes.
That we have half the assets already done and some of the mechanics, and we just never realized them because we had to get them out the door in time for get gold version stamped in time for Zelda-thon, and we're like, no, stop feature creep.
Yes, let's not grow this game any further right at the moment. We have to do a thing with it. But that doesn't mean we have to just leave it sit forever.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Hmm.
Is it mandatory to be a cat owner to be a guest on this podcast or a host on this podcast?
It's not mandatory, but it is strongly encouraged, mostly because that way when one of us has a cat, the others won't feel left out.
Okay,
Was
good.
that Sarge?
Yeah. Sarge came up to say hi to everybody.
I just realized we're all just sitting here passively stroking our cats on the screen at the same time.
Yes, this is now a cat cast, Beepo. You nailed it 1,000,000%. That
Yeah.
is what
Viewers
we
or
do here.
listeners, please go find your cats and pet them. If you don't have any cats,
Go
I
outside,
guess
you'll
For the
find
distribution
one.
system.
yeah.
Just look in a really uncomfortable place. They will be there lying, looking extremely comfortable. You will think to yourself, how? How could you be in like the forklift handle for a dumpster and napping? But they will be. They will be.
Because it
How
has
they
a
do.
sunbeam, they're in.
Just that little bit of warmth. That's all it takes. So we did have one more really important question, and Fuzzy, I will let you take that one. An urgent question that we would like your expert opinion on.
I have to buy more RAM for my computer. I have 2 black sticks in there now. They are RGB, so you rarely actually see them. Do I get 2 more black sticks, or do I get 2 more white sticks so they like piano stripe? They're the exact same price, exact same everything. It just, do I fill in the other 2 gaps with 2 more white ones or 2 more black ones?
Man, I'm not going to be helpful on this because I think either one would look good. I think adding in the white stripes would make it more interesting to look at. But on the other hand, how often are you going to be looking inside that computer?
It's a
Is it
glass side. It's full of
Oh, it's a glass
RGB.
side?
It's a light show in there already.
And
The
so,
LED strip on top is a white cap, though.
okay.
That is a tough call. See, it's tough for me to give an answer because I'm one of those people that's like out of sight, out of mind. I have a tower, cool. Let's hide it behind something.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah,
the part of
mine
my
does not
computer I
have-
want to look at.
Mine does not have transparent sides. I don't want to be reminded how furious I am at my own cable management or lack thereof. So I closed it up. It's accessible. It's right here. It's right under the desk, but I don't want to look inside it ever. Be reminded of how much dust is in there. Are you kidding me? Like I have a cat. It's full of cat hair.
If you do
Yeah.
your fans right, you don't get dust in there.
Yeah, that's nice in theory.
In the real
Positive.
world where we live, however, yeah.
Yeah.
My computer is more cat than computer at this point.
I think go for the white sticks.
Yeah.
Go lean into the alternating colors, make it interesting even when it's turned off.
Have some contrast in there. It'll
Well,
the
it'll
case
sharpen
itself
it up
is-
nice.
The case is white, and the fans are white, and the electronic components are black. So it's, yeah, I guess that would be a good mix. Okay.
Can you have it so that when you start up your computer, it plays the song Ebony and Ivory?
Live together in perfect harmony. I mean-
Well, you're going on a little trip. Hold on.
It's not out of
Ooh.
the realm of possibility. Ooh, are we gonna get the fabled computer view? Are we gonna see the innards of your setup?
Look at them. They're beautiful.
What is this sci-fi nonsense? What the hell is going on here?
It's Aurora Borealis.
It's a
Look
portal
at it, it's
level.
highly within that computer tower.
And the fans in the top, one of them is keyed to my CPU temperature, and the other one's keyed to my GPU temperature, so I can look over and just tell how hot my computer's running.
Mm.
Informative. Terrifying.
Yes.
I keep expecting like members of the bridge crew to come into that room. That is what it looks like.
Well, they have to reconfigure the port nacelle to shoot a Tetrion beam off the main deflector dish.
Sorry,
Well-
I never got into Battlestar Galactica. I'm sorry. I don't know.
That thing was my old computer. It was massive.
Looks
So
like a toaster,
they
but for records.
My camera is not easily detachable, and also my floor is covered in cat hair. Otherwise, I would show off just the complete black brick of the tower I have.
If I can you still get like late 90s style beige box cases? Is that an option you even
yes,
have anymore?
yeah, yes, it is. If you need computers in bulk, you can. They don't sell them at the stores, but if you need the most boringest, I need a shell for my computer to put stuff in, you can get those.
I don't want to like carefully screw and light up standoffs. I want to staple a motherboard into a beige brick, and then that's what I need. That's what I need. My computer should fade into the background.
Man, of course there's a subreddit for this. Retro battle stations.
Mm-hmm. Well, people build sleeper PCs like all the time, like into they'll get a case from the like the 90s and build, these micro ATX things that are like this big, but have like a 4090 mobile and like six
Right.
SSDs wrapped around the CPU like a bacon wrap. And it's like, here's a full functioning computer in the size of a Rubik's Cube, and we're gonna put it inside this, TV console from the 70s,
I'm into
which
it.
is totally a thing.
I'm into that. No, I could see that. That's my aesthetic. I don't want my computer to look like a computer.
I did, because it's been long enough that I wanted. That massive thing had no lights in it. It was a black hole when you looked in that side window. Because it lived in my room, and now it's like, oh, it doesn't.
All right. I'm just going to throw this out there, completely unrelated to everything, but it's on my list, and I did say I wanted to ask it in general. You are no stranger to cuisines from around the world. You have tried many different cultures' foods.
I thought you were going to say I'm no stranger to love, which is also true.
You do know the rules, and so do
So
I.
do you. Yeah.
What does a
Food
Metroid
cuisines hit me.
taste like?
Sorry?
Jellyfish.
What does a Metroid taste like? Do you think it would be edible?
I mean, no, don't eat the science. Don't eat the aliens.
Edible is just different than nutritious. You can eat anything.
Some things only once.
You may even digest most things, but will not your body get any usable energy out of it?
I have
Or
chewed.
will it kill you?
I have chewed a
You can
piece
eat.
of
You can eat
jellyfish
cardboard. Cardboard is edible.
for
Yeah,
minutes
but,
and
like-
minutes and minutes before.
A vial of acid is not edible. That is not what we commonly mean by the term edible. Usually what we mean is can consume on a regular basis without causing like severe damage to the body.
I'm just
No,
thinking like
that's a vial of acid is consumable.
Yeah. Yeah. And so like everything we talked about with edible, I would use consumable to describe that. You can
Yes.
consume anything. Edible is like an additional layer above that of like, well, you should consume this. I think a Metroid, I mean, you could. So, okay, what is the most natural, actual, real life food equivalent to a Metroid? It's not a jellyfish. It's not a jellyfish. It's a fruit gusher. It's a thing that you bite into and it's filled with juice.
because they're stuffed.
No, I happen to think-
jellyfish are empty. Yeah, it would be because
Yeah.
it's stuffed with liquid. It's like eating an eye.
I think the liquid inside the Metroid's like bulbous top is probably going to be acidic in like an alien style, so you shouldn't bite into it. But yeah, I think like a rubbery tough skin that if you pierce is just going to be full of acid. That I don't know, maybe it tastes citrusy as you dissolve.
I wouldn't expect it to be fluid. I thought it'd be more like an Orby, like a solidified gel, not
Like
a
a jello
fluid.
kind of thing, like an aspic.
Yeah, little like firmer, because if it was a liquid, it would all that stuff in the middle would sink to a side, but you always see it suspended in the middle, which means it's kind of like it's got a firming. It stays in
Hold
the
on.
middle.
With that
I have
structure, it's
so
like
many Metroid games in this box. Surely I have one with a Metroid on the cover.
you say all the stuff in it. Are those like the organelles? Is a Metroid like a giant single cell organism?
It's the powerhouse.
The mitochondria
It's
is
the
the
powerhouse
powerhouse of the.
I can't believe these are all the games that don't have Metroids in them.
All the Metroid games that there aren't any. Yeah. All right. All
Where's
right.
my?
Not one Metroid. Not one Metroid
Not-
on any of these covers.
I just took all my Game Boy stuff to Jason's house. Where's my games?
All right. All right. Where's my button to share a screen? I've got Google image search open. We can find a picture of a Metroid here somewhere. I'm sure of it. Look, here's a Metroid larva. There.
Yeah.
It's. You wouldn't
Yeah,
want to eat
yeah.
the pointy bits at the bottom, right? Those look sharp and like.
Yeah, so like those are the inedible parts. Like, you know, if you were eating lobster or something, you'd like remove the shell and you wouldn't eat that. Or if you're eating chicken, you remove the bones, stuff like that. Like you're not eating the claws and the bits down at the bottom.
Right.
I think the only part that you may be interested in eating is the top part, the green bulbous part. The way it moves around made me think it was filled with liquid, but I suppose it could also be thought of as like a gelatinous thing that kind of bounces around. I think the fact that those red pustules just kind of stay there, I mean, it could mean that it's a solid interior or like a jellified interior. It could also mean that they're just less dense than whatever liquid is in there. And so they're attached to the bottom, but they want to float up because they're less dense.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. They are attached to the bottom. Well, even if you look at the other forms, the one with the hard shell on top, there's
Yeah,
still
so
a red thing in the
look up
center, but
Alpha
it's attached to the
Metroid.
body.
All right. Where's our search button here? Alpha Metroid. Alpha Metroid is the fourth stage of a typical Metroid's life. And
What do you
yeah,
mean
here.
fourth stage. What do they mean fourth stage?
Well,
What is this garbage?
You're a larva, and then
you're an alpha. That's the order. I guess you're an egg before you're a larva in the Metroid franchise. I gotta what website is this? I'm putting them on blast.
I'm on the Metroid fandom site, the formerly
Yeah.
Wikia Metroid
Yeah.
Wikitroid.
What about Metroid Database? Does Metroid Database have this?
Well, I'm willing to bet Metroid Database was just the fork of this site. They all are.
Where's the bestiary? Alpha Metroid. Is this gonna work?
Yeah, here.
Oh, no, wait. I think I got it.
Yeah.
After a Metroid's first molting, it will turn into an Alpha Metroid.
No, yeah, it's the fourth because it's egg, baby, big squishy, and then alpha.
Oh, come on.
Hey.
Call it. I'm not upset with you. I'm upset with the world. But like to call the baby Metroid a different evolutionary stage than just the regular larval Metroid, it's just a smaller version. Adulthood isn't like a different stage of our evolution. We just get bigger.
Fair.
Anyway, I'm not a
guys.
biologist, so I have no expertise in this matter.
This is like crunchy on the outside, lethal on the inside. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So is the question, what does the squishy, gooey part of a Metroid taste like? Because they usually all have that same squishy core somewhere in there.
Yeah,
that's true.
Even in the Omegas, they still have it's just the weak. What does the weak spot of a Metroid taste like?
Also, I want to bring this back up because the talk about the inside has one thing really sticking out in my head. And in this specific illustration that I'm sharing right now, it looks exactly like a NyQuil gel cap. And
I don't know, do you
somehow
like
I know.
now I'm picturing a Metroid having a nighttime sniffling, sneezing, cough, stuffy nose so you can sleep medication type of flavor with 3 little Italian style meatballs inside.
Maybe that's why the Federation was breeding them. Maybe they were trying to breed Zequel Metroids.
I could buy that. I could buy that. That's why they sap your energy is they are putting you to sleep. I get it. I get it. We have unraveled the Federation conspiracy and it's all cold medicine all the way down.
Oh man, Monkey's Paw. I wish for the cure for the common cold. It's Metroids.
I mean, they do make it no longer a problem. They do make it
That
no longer a problem.
new
It's
problem.
cutting off your hand to remove a splinter from your thumb, but it is a solution of
Yeah.
some variety. All right, I think we're going to take a 5-minute break here. Thank you guys for being here. Hope you've been enjoying the show so far. Goodness knows we absolutely have. We're going to put on some music. We're going to run some ads. If you're a subscriber, enjoy the gorgeous sounds of the Dick Schlesig combo. And if you are not, well, consider throwing a couple bucks in the hat. That way you don't have to watch ads. We will be back in about 5-ish. Welcome back, everyone, to the Blue House Bull Session. We are happy to be back here with you. Excited talking again in 11 about Metroid Marathon coming up this weekend. Where can we watch that, by the way? I realize I should probably shout that out.
Twitch.tv/Metroid_marathon. That's twitch.tv/Metroid_marathon.
Going to be
It should be
starting
appearing
on
on your screen now.
starting on Friday
Twitch.tv/Metroid_marathon.
and running through the weekend. I may have a segment on it Saturday at 10-ish. I should look at the schedule. I know you've told me. It's 10-ish.
Yeah, it's about 10 p.m. to 11:30ish.
That's where I'm going to be hanging out all
That's
weekend
Eastern
anyway,
time.
so.
Yep. Yeah, we're gonna be going. We'll start at noon Eastern on Friday, and then Saturday we're starting at about 8 a.m. Eastern. Sunday we're starting at about 9 a.m. Eastern. Monday we're starting at 8 or 9 a.m. Eastern, and ending early on Monday because on Monday I have to pack everything up and drive home after the marathon. That's going to be a mistake.
Exciting.
Um,
It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, it's gonna be a thing.
And I know we talked a little bit about the Slunch Pizza. I did throw up a poll in the chat. Feel free to cast your vote. What do you think we should try and coerce into happening this time? Vote with your dollars this weekend, definitely, but get your ideas in now.
Yeah. I think you could put curry on a pizza and I think it would work out pretty okay.
Are you hip to
Um,
Swedish curry banana pizza?
I've never tried it, but I like curry and I like banana.
It is actually a thing, and it's apparently pretty popular. Yeah, it's a pizza with banana sauce and curry spices on it, just like garam masala right in the sauce. I'm curious
Well,
about it.
yeah, I like Indian food, so I'm in.
We got Swedish friends. We can get confirmation on this too. You know,
That's true.
ask
But we can't
ask
get them
Maria.
to
She'll tell you it's
smuggle.
real.
Yeah, we can't get them to smuggle a pizza into the States for us.
Or can we?
Unless.
Tabati's made it on his channel too. Like that is a thing I remember seeing before. That is Tabatai Cooking has absolutely done the banana curry pizza. I want one. I want one. I cannot deny
Yeah.
it.
I
What
mean, the absurd stuff I've tried as a result of the slench. Who am I to say I'm not going to try this thing that people legitimately enjoy?
yeah, true. What's your go-to pizza order? What do you get when you're getting pizza for you and for you specifically?
Um, I like getting different stuff every time, but if you were to say like you're getting your default pizza, anywhere you order from, it's going to be good because you trust these toppings. It's sausage and mushroom,
I'm into that.
or sometimes sausage and black olive.
I'm even
Or if
more into
I'm
that.
eating vegetarian at the time, mushroom and black olive. I like mushrooms. I like black olives.
I can get with that. They're savory. They are vegetables, but they do well for some value of vegetable, but they don't feel like vegetables. They're plant meat. Olives are plant meat and mushrooms are plant meat, even though they're not even plants.
Yeah, they're not plants. What even is a fungus? A miserable little pile of spores or something.
Space.
I'm
They most likely come from space.
yeah,
Yeah.
The best guess.
but I'm into that. That's the kind of stuff I dig. Like I'm not big on cooked green peppers or cooked bell peppers in general. I like bell peppers, but I like them raw and crispy. But you can't get raw bell pepper on a cooked pizza and have it come out good. In my opinion at least.
Interesting.
I love
Interesting.
onions. All varieties of onion. Just drown me in onions. You know, smother me in onions, cover me in gravy, serve me to table 6 where the fist fight is interfering with the other fist fight. That like I'm good with that. Um
I don't think I understand what just happened.
I do that a lot. Um when Papa John's was expanding into Russia, like in the 90s, like Berlin Wall falling, that
Mhm.
they had a to Russia with love special, which was mashed potatoes and garlic as your
I'm
pizza
into it.
toppings.
So where I am in the States, there is baked potato pizza, and also like mashed potato and just like potato pizza in general, and it's pretty good. It's I really enjoy it.
I have not tried one down here in the wastelands where I am, but I saw that and thought about it and said, why not carbs on carbs? I'm into it, you know?
Plus, they usually put bacon bits on it, and
Ooh,
like,
yeah.
what is it made better with bacon?
Um, I had an answer to that
Metroids.
once. I did, I swear. Trying to think if there's anything else weird I've done with pizza before. My default. What I do like is I got very into Italian sausage, pineapple, and a white sauce. It
Okay,
is it is a really good combination.
I'd try it. I'm in.
I worked for a number of years at a pizza shop, and Fuzzy worked there with me, and having full access to an entire shop where you can do things like that and take them home makes it easier to try. Makes it easier to try. I will say that.
So I don't have that experience with pizza, but the first job I ever had was working at a Cold Stone Creamery. Do you guys know what
Ooh,
Cold Stone is? Just to be
yes,
clear, I don't know how
yes.
far it's reached across the country. Um, by the way, the poll ended, and no, I will not be putting Metroid on the Slunch Pizza. So try again. Try again with your dollars towards direct relief.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
but yeah, Cold Stone, like having all those toppings and mix-ins and sauces and stuff. Uh, and one of the perks of us working there, it was a minimum wage job because, of course, it was. I was still in high school. But one of the perks of working there was every day, or like every 4 hour shift that you worked, you would get, one comped ice cream creation of your design. And so you try the recommended creations a couple times. You try the just regular, like, oh yeah, ice cream with chocolate chips mixed in. Like, sure,
Yeah.
that's not particularly creative, but that's still delicious ice cream. And then I just started getting weird. I was like, well, I have all these things. What's good? What's not good? Turns out a lot of it's not good. A lot of combinations, not good.
I'm really
But
curious. Like, can you give us some examples of what you should never order at Cold Stone? What will you regret trying?
I mean, I
Every
don't think this
kid
is.
wants to put the gummy worms on there. And then you're like, wait, gummy worms when they get cold suck. This is a bad idea.
I'm not even a fan of gummy worms, period. But like, yeah, I would avoid any of the gummy treats because gummy bears are also an option. I don't like those in general. Why would I like them in ice cream? Um, I think the fruit chunks are too big to really work. I think you want to get those chopped up into finer pieces, and I just don't think Cold Stone's equipped to do that. Although I guess we are mixing with a little. I don't know. Maybe they could do that. Yeah, really, it's just like the gummy things and the fruits I would stay away from, but everything else was good. Like all the different candy bars or just like creamy peanut butter is great. The brownie bits would get chopped up nice and small, so that would actually work out pretty well. I think I remember there being actual cookies you could put in. This is now it's been like 17 years,
Fair,
so
fair.
I don't precisely remember a lot of the experimentation phase. I very quickly settled on, right, you like peanut butter and peanut butter related things. So I was like, give me the peanut butter ice cream with literal peanut butter and a Reese's cup and Reese's pieces. Let me mix all that together and just, you know,
I'm
go
running
into a
on the
food coma.
assumption that Cold Stone doesn't have bacon bits.
They don't have bacon unless they've changed in the past 17 years. You could bring your own.
That is a tempting thought. I've made public my love for the Elvis special, for the peanut butter banana bacon sandwich, and now I'm envisioning that as ice cream, Cold Stone style, and I'm so curious. Just peanut butter ice cream with peanut butter banana chunks. I'll bring my own can of bacon bits to shake on top.
I I wonder what the reaction would be if you brought in strips of bacon and said, "Please add this to my ice cream."
I'm sure they'd
They
yell about cross contamination. I know
Yeah.
they couldn't do it, but if I did it in store at the table, what kind of looks would I
Yeah.
be getting?
Just the bag of that shelf stable like bacon crumble stuff. You just like
Yeah,
clearly on the table, just sprinkling on, just leave it on the table. Like,
Do you know that some bacon bits are vegan friendly?
I did indeed. As a matter
yeah,
of fact,
It's like it's not bacon. It's
no,
not bacon.
not at all. The brand name one, Baco's, has no actual
Bacon's-
bacon in it, and I love it.
What do
It's
you do?
not bacon, but I love it. It's salt crunchies, salt
Ooh,
sprinkles.
well,
man.
realistically, when you think everybody, when you think, oh, I want bacon, no, you want the smell of bacon.
Not true for me. Fun fact about me: honker don't work. I can't
There's your
smell.
interesting Ganon trivia. That's how he can stand to be
Yeah,
around me at the marathons.
I have the opposite problem. I have like
you're a super
super
smeller.
smell. Yeah.
Give me it back. Actually, no, I want it back.
Yeah,
So for me, at least, when I want bacon, I want bacon.
yeah.
I can't smell that. I just want bacon.
You want the smoky cured salty meat taste. I get that. I get that. Chris, we need to go out for Cold Stone this weekend no, not this weekend. I have plans this weekend. Don't forget.
Oh, we'll have off hours from midnight to 9 a.m. I don't
Hmm.
think Cold Stones are open between midnight and 9 a.m.
To the Googles, 24-hour Cold Stone Creamery.
As a inverse of that, have you ever had Menchie's?
Menchie's I have not.
Okay. Similar thing, except whereas Cold Stone is like making it behind the counter like Subway, Menchie's is more soft serve your own cup of soft serve or frozen yogurt and add in your own crap and then they weigh it.
A
Same,
topping buffet.
yeah. A ice cream dispenser and topping buffet, and then you pay by weight at the end, and it's just so you don't get like 6 pounds of toppings and for a nickel.
They're not bad, and I have tried a handful of things there that I don't know if I regret them or not. What they need at a place like Menchie's with the flavors of yogurt they offer is, God, I feel dirty saying this, instant coffee like the crystals.
Just as a topping.
Yeah. Could you imagine mixing those into a vanilla ice cream? Now you've got a vanilla frappe. It's perfect. It'd be ideal, except for the kids eating spoonfuls of it straight off the buffet. But just dump in a jar of Folgers, you know?
You know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like so we don't have Menchie's anywhere near us. They won't even show me the list of where they are on a map. They just
They
say
they
here's
closed a
stores in the building.
bunch. They
Oh,
closed a lot of them during the pandemic because it's very
yeah.
much you have to come in and you eat it, either in the store or in the courtyard. It doesn't really transport, so those type of places like really dried up.
But
Plus,
we
also I think
have
they weren't doing that good.
we have what seems like an equivalent, which is Peach Wave.
The name sounds vaguely familiar. I could buy.
I mean,
There
it's
used to be
frozen
so many
yogurt.
frozen yogurt chains, and like
Yeah.
almost all of them went. Where's my TCBY? Are they still around?
No,
PCBY.
The country's
Mm-mm.
best yogurt.
Find a
There might be a
store.
couple, but they're the non. It's only like it's like the Blockbuster problem. They went away, but there's still independent ones out there.
It all went hand in hand with the death of the shopping mall because I'm thinking of all the
Yeah.
mall food court places that don't exist anymore. You know, I've never in my life, I am told they exist, but I've never in my life seen a standalone Sarku or Sakio Japan. I've only ever seen them in a food court in some other large establishment.
The Express Place. I won't say the full name.
Yeah.
You know, they are. They are the two that are
I
near
mean,
us.
like an actual literal
No.
franchised. Like
No, it's them from the mall.
right.
They couldn't take the naming rights with them.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like the naming rights. I've never seen a building that just says Sarku Japan on the outside. Are there anywhere you can dine in? I want my chicken teriyaki. I want to go there and eat my chicken teriyaki without, people walking in and out of Hot Topic 5 feet away from me. Or
Mall food is definitely an experience.
Hot Sam. Auntie Anne's pretzels are still around. What happened to Hot Sam?
I don't know who Hot Sam is.
It was a pretzel place. I swear it was a pretzel place. It really was. I'm not making this up. Is this Mandela effect? Am I hallucinating food joints that used to exist?
Probably.
There's a mall that opened up just down the street from me. Like it's a 10-minute walk away to this mall. If a 10-minute walk. It opened up in like November 2019.
Yeah.
So not a whole lot of time before it became a ghost town. But it's opened back up. It doesn't have a food court. It has like a pretzel bites station that has like 4 installments throughout the store. There's like a middle booth at the ground level. And there's like an actual storefront at the second level, and then like a cart at the third level or something. And so I wanted to say like, oh yeah, malls. Well, they all have different stores, right? Like different from mall to mall. It's all regional or whatever. So of
Right.
course I've never heard of the thing. But then I thought of another podcast I listened to. Am I allowed to talk about another podcast here?
Please, I insist.
No.
Oh well, mixed degree or mixed reactions here. So there's a podcast which is very, very, very infrequently updated now, called Mall Walkin'. It's 2 friends who walk around malls and talk about nothing, except just we're passing this store and here's a dumb joke I just thought of based on the title of the store. And it was actually striking to me how many stores they were talking about in like Southern California that I was seeing, because I walk around the wall and listen to podcasts, and sometimes when that podcast was coming up, I was listening to Mall Walkin' as I was mall walking, and I was like, "Yep, that store is the same. Yep, that store is the same. That store is the regional equivalent of the store they're talking about." So I don't know what's going on anymore.
It's because a lot of those stores depend on high foot traffic.
Yeah.
So they would never work on an independent store or even just in a strip mall type thing. They depend on people walking past, going in, browsing around, just people meandering the mall. They depend on that type of traffic where the whole store is like window looking. And that's why they only exist in malls or online.
See, that's another one that's got me curious now. Spencer Gifts freestanding building. Is there just a Spencer Gifts I can walk into that doesn't live in a mall? Take a tour of one of our standalone Spencer stores. There are. They do exist, by God. What even is this? I miss the mall experience. I really do.
I don't. I've walked through that mall multiple times now, and not a single. Okay, I was gonna say not a single thing has appealed to me. That's not true. I actually did some shopping there for my Christmas gifts. um, because one of the stores there is like a kids' toys store,
Yeah.
and I have a niece who I was shopping for, so I got something there for her, and that was nice.
Do they have
But
the mall near you? Do they have a game room? Do they have an arcade?
they have what they call a VR space, but it's very much set up for kids' birthday parties.
I got you.
It
I
is.
got
It's not the kind of thing that I could walk into and be like, I want to mess around with VR games for 20 minutes. Um, and then they have some like grabber machines right outside that, but they don't really have an arcade room. They don't even have like a GameStop or an electronics boutique or anything like that. Like they just have nothing that appeals to me.
it's express to limited to Claire's extreme, and that's it.
No, Claire's went under too.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to talk too much about this small. Well, I don't know.
No, you're
I don't.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
know how
Wait,
much.
okay. Without doxing yourself,
Well,
which
yeah.
vague region of the country are you in?
So Northeast US. The thing
Okay.
is, I don't know how much I care about doxing myself because I sometimes talk about the Gamer Symphony Orchestra that I'm in, which has the name of my city in it. So, like, who am I kidding here?
Look,
understandable.
between Jose Monkey and GeoGuessr and the other thing, any scrap of information, people will be at your doorstep in 37 minutes.
Yeah, no one stalked me yet, but it's always that yet.
Knock on wood. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've kind of
Okay.
given up on it. If someone wants to steal my identity, they can have it. They can
Yeah.
take the minus signs in my bank account and run with them, man. Go for it. You want to be me? Take it. Take it. I'll be Max Power from now on. Uh-oh.
28 years later,
I see
man, that movie's gonna
improvement.
be bad. Anyway. Yeah, my mall has like a Nordstrom's and a Bloomingdale, and it's got an Apple store and it's got a Verizon store, and it's got a couple okay restaurants. There's a bowling alley. That's kind of cool.
I could
My
get with
company
that.
has
That's kind of neat.
rented out the bowling alley for swaggy company events before. But as far as actual shopping, like I don't even buy that much. And when I do, I want to go to like a music store or a GameStop. Except I don't want to go to a GameStop. Just want to buy it off Best Buy or whatever.
Now, see, there's the transition, and I'm gonna tie it back to you mentioning something about being involved in a video game orchestra. Um, there are people who know. Well, I don't know if there are people who know you primarily through music, although it is very possible. But a lot of Zeldathon viewers know you as part of the Zeldathon band and Jam Train as well. Um, how did you get into music in the first place?
Oh man. That is a long and storied history. Yes. I should also temper people's expectations. It's not like I'm starting bands and putting out albums. I'm a guy who does music as a hobby, and I have the skill level to match. So just to set people's expectations, my first experience with music was actually in fourth grade. It was just kind of a given that everyone in our family would try some kind of instrument. So I think my brother, so I have an older brother and then an older sibling. My brother, when he was that age, I think picked up the trumpet
Yeah.
and then dropped it in like a year. My older sibling picked up the flute and dropped it in a couple of years. And me, following along my family line, I played the cello and dropped it after a year. So that's where I like learned the very basics of sheet music reading. Um, Fast forward to high school, my older brother is in college. He gets really involved in his church group and picks up the guitar to play guitar with his church group.
Yeah.
And this is at the point in time my brother and I are very similar, like even today, but at that point we were like very similar. And so I basically said, "Oh, well, my my brother Dark Cobra picked up a guitar. I'm going to pick up a guitar. That's just what you do." And so I got like the very basics of acoustic guitar. I learned a couple chords, and that's basically all I could do. And played guitar through summer camp and then through college and whatnot. And so basically, just kind of like fooling around with guitar has been my hobby since then. Mostly playing in like a church in a camp context. Um, the story I like to tell is I showed up to. This is a whole other story that I'm going to skip a lot of details with. But when I eventually moved to where I am now in the Northeast United States, I went to a church one week at the invitation of a coworker, um, and I met his wife, who was the worship director, who said, "Hey, I hear you know my husband. I also hear you play guitar." And so the second week I was at that church, I was playing guitar, and I've been playing guitar with them since then for 12
Nice.
years.
Nice.
Um, and then 7 years, around 2017, I want to say, some coworkers found, and I founded a local video game orchestra because I was getting into video game music at the time. And I didn't actually originally sign up to play guitar because I wasn't, and frankly, still am not that confident in my guitar playing. So I signed up to be a vocalist because also in college, I picked up a cappella singing.
Ooh.
uh, Out of nowhere. It was just like someone said, "Hey, Mike, you have a nice voice." And so then I started singing in college, and that was fun. But eventually, I started playing guitar with the Gamer Orchestra, and we actually just had a concert, a mini concert this past Sunday, uh,
Nice.
where I'm
Nice.
playing electric guitar and bass guitar, and I technically provided vocals for 30 seconds of one song,
It counts.
and so on. Yeah.
It counts. Have you ever
So
considered
it
bringing a musical guest into Metroid Marathon?
No, I have not, simply because I don't want to figure out the audio for it.
Understandable.
I
Understandable.
ugh. And I want, I'm kind of torn on how I want to handle Metroid Marathon. I half want it to be the like homegrown, just out of the basement kind of production that Zeldathon used to be, and half of me wants to just keep it that way, frankly, because it's easier,
Yeah.
right? It's less to worry about, and this isn't my full-time job.
Right.
This is a hobby that I do sometimes. Um, so I don't feel like we're in the position to reach out to like a big name musical guest and be like, could you do a segment on our dinky marathon that's run out of, you know, fortunately we're a step beyond mom's basement. We're now in our own basement, but still like we're running it out of our own basement. Um, we have some members of the team who are, musically inclined. I've already, I just mentioned guitar stuff. My friend Matt, who is physically going to be hosting the marathon, picked up accordion over the past couple of years.
Ooh.
Um, yeah, no, it's not Jackson Perotti in a disguise, although that would be very funny.
Yeah, you
Um,
knew eventually I was going to steer to that and say, we have a mutual friend that does remote segments. I just putting it out there. He's got his
yeah,
audio shit straightened out already.
I haven't seen him stream in months now. I miss him.
Yeah,
Hope he's doing well.
yeah, same. Well, you see him in the
So
Discord.
yeah, I've thought about it in terms of like, wouldn't that be neat? But never seriously, never like I'm gonna reach out to this person to do it, or even like Matt and I are gonna put together some duets or something. Like, and it mostly just comes down to I am kind of the lead audio engineer, and my expertise goes as far as me saying, "Wow, audio is a real pain in the butt to figure out. I hate this so much."
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't want to make that harder for myself. I can't even get like two people on a couch to sound great the whole event. I don't want to think about two people and an accordion and a singer and an audio backing track and yeah.
Very understandable. You keep the scope to what you can accomplish as an individual around the demands of the day job and everything else. I can
Yeah.
get that.
The day
I
job and the orchestra and the personal streams and the
Yeah,
I have
there's
I
quite a
have the
bit.
same problem my mother had. I know is not in my vocabulary.
That sounds
So
familiar. Speaking of the personal streams, let me make sure we give a shout out to you so that when you are streaming your personal streams again, I don't want to out anything about what you may or may not be planning for the month of May once you make it through the marathon. But if you want to, you're welcome to.
let's just say that I have some ideas. Some wheels are turning.
Yes.
So it'll be exciting if I can muster up the energy to do it.
Well,
But I think May would be a good month for that.
if you need support in any way, you've absolutely got a cheering squad at a minimum, and whatever else, whatever other help we can offer. No is not in my vocabulary either, and what you may have going is very much aligned with my interests too. So
Yeah, we'll see. Stay tuned. I deleted my Twitter, so it's not like I can announce on Twitter what's going to happen. So I guess just stay tuned to whatever.
give
Keep
him
your ear to the ground.
give him a follow. Go drop him a subscription so you can use his emotes, including the wonderful party emote. I got
Don't
it here
subscribe
somewhere,
to
right?
me until I start streaming more regularly. but but yes, check out this party emote. Look
Everybody
at it.
everybody needs a dancing bucket nose.
Oh man, old Bucket knows. He's so good. My constant companion.
For people who don't
He's-
know, do you want to tell the story of where Bucket Nose came from?
Well, which version of the story do you want?
Whichever you
Um,
would prefer.
so my channel emotes are all moose themed. If I can pull up my own emotes and just spam the whole list of them.
Yay!
Oh, there's one non moose themed emote in here.
That doesn't count.
Maybe you can spot it. Uh, the reason they're all mooses is not because I'm from Canada or even from particularly close to the Canadian border, but because in the original Smash Brothers game, when Captain Falcon would say, "Show me your moves," it was on the N64 and compressed to hell. So it sounded like saying, "Show me a moose." And I thought that was silly. So for a while, instead, like when I would come into a stream, instead of saying hi or hello or what's up, I would say, "Show me a moose." And people would react in various ways. Uh, so then I made the emotes on my stream moose related so that I could show them a moose if they couldn't show me a moose. Then I ran a poll to name the moose because I had never given a name to the moose, and the leading suggestion was Moosey McMooseface, which I struck down with executive action. Um, and the backup name was Old Bucket Nose. So the moose is named Old Bucket Nose because the people wanted them to be Old Bucket Nose. And then Ganon One Party came about because Jay is a madman. And I think I was streaming once and I said, man, it would be neat if I had an animated emote that was like Party Parrot, but with the moose. And 20 minutes later, I have a DM from Jay saying, hey, here, use this. And that's Ganon One Party.
I'm going to give myself tennis elbow, patting myself on the back for that. I love the fact I am not an amazing artist, but I am incredibly skilled with Photoshop. I am great at editing images and combining them into something else or transforming them. And the minute you said that, I said I have to. I have a collection of party parrots from the chat server that we have at work. We used to use Mattermost because everybody else used Slack and were difficult. And they would let us upload custom emotes to our work server.
That was so dangerous.
We had a problem with too many variants of the party parrot, and it was overloading some emote count. I don't know what was going on, causing slow page loads. But we put together at work, because we are all serious business all the time, the Emoji Regulatory Committee to review and approve or unapprove new submissions as they came in and let people know. And our channel was called Too Many Parrots.
Hmm.
So I have much experience with party parrots.
Man.
We had one at work too that would they tried to like make it where they had to be approved, but then every single edit, like people were like it was a nightmare. It's like, okay, we're gonna have open edits, open editions, but we will also super vigorously delete bad ones. And we will not tell you, it will just go away, and then if you keep doing it, your rights will be revoked.
We did have one incident with Pepe the Frog, which got repurposed as a hardline right wing. I don't
Mhm.
I don't have the full information on it, but it
Yeah.
at some point fell under the heading of hate speech. So that was the notable thing for us is we did have one HR incident after the Emoji Regulatory Committee met and said, no, this is not okay, and maybe you should bring up with them why.
Yeah.
I really wish it wasn't embroiled in that controversy,
Same.
because some of those emotes I find legitimately funny.
Yeah, they're so perfectly suited for things, and the fact that someone has decided to co-opt them into a different meaning entirely,
Yeah.
it hurts. It really does. It hurts. It's no good.
It's just frustrating.
Yeah, but yeah, that's where I got my emote making start, and that's why I have such winners as the dancing green beans. What else do I have now? I've got the can do can, which by the way we need to remember to talk about that.
Yes, we do.
Our good friend Jiggy, he doesn't have the 11 anymore. Our good friend Jiggy No 11 keeps yelling at his chat when
He
it's too
abandoned the
quiet.
Brotherhood of the 11, and
I
I will never
know,
forgive him.
man. I've got one, you've got a pair of them, and he didn't want any. But he likes to yell, press 1 in the chat if you're here and awake. So, of course, I had to make my own. I'm pressing 1 as much as I can.
Do I have access to that? Please
I
tell me
think
I
you
have
do.
access
I
to that.
think you do. If you don't, I'll fix it.
Yes.
So now
Yeah.
we can all press 1 in the chat very aggressively.
Excellent.
I think that's
When
one of the
Jiggy gets
things.
back, and when I get back,
Yeah,
spam
because
that
he's
forever.
at the St. Jude event right now, right? He's at.
He is, yeah. He's been sharing some pictures of him and some other Zeldathon folk.
Yeah, I saw one that had it had our donation total on the display they had for us, but it was just Tiltify, so it was like orders of magnitude lower than what we've actually raised for them over time. It said like $4,000, and we've got over $1 million for them specifically in total.
They probably wanted it to be like live updating, but they only had access to Tiltify
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that. Oh
One
well.
of these
Or
days I'd
it,
love to go to that event. I would. I'd like to check it out. I don't think I
Yeah,
would
that'd be
last
nice.
very long.
Hmm.
Like, excuse me, sir.
there's
This is for guests only. You can't wash your beard in the bathroom. No, I'm part of the team. I swear.
I just also needed to wash my beard.
It was coincidence. I swear.
I'm
The hobo
supposed to
bindle's a
be.
prop. Yeah. We did want to talk a little bit about Can Do though. The new game from Hergel Studios. So I hope you'll indulge us in our little bit of a commercial plug here. Available on itch.io through the Hergel Studio site. If you just go to hergel.com, there's a link right there. I think if I do that in the chat, yeah, it'll tell you where you can
all
give
right.
us money for that game that you can play for free. No, we did actually build an executable version of it, and we have plans on getting the phone version out. The deluxe version does come with the watch mode, so you can just watch the gameplay itself in case you don't want to put forth all that effort. You also get shiny badges next to your name if you're on the high scoreboards. for showing that you are supporting us. So yeah, go check it out. Go pick yourself up a copy. Go play it online. Go tell a friend. All of that stuff. Uh, and keep an eye because we will be doing some streams on the Hergel channel soon, showing off the gameplay a little bit, talking about development, talking about the features, all of that. Jump in the Hergel Discord if you want more info on the games that we're working on, all of that fun stuff. It's the best way to keep track of what's coming up soon. It's where I'll be telling people about the next streams for Let's Cafe that will be coming up very soon. Just so you know that there is going to be more Let's Cafe in the extremely near future. Like maybe later tonight. It's a possibility.
Oh,
I stopped paying attention 30 seconds ago when I realized that I could play this game. So now I'm playing Can Do. Where's the third thing of fluff? Come on.
Oh man. Oh man. It
are
really
you
is
playing
addictive.
stocking or sorting?
Sorting.
Oh,
Sorting mode's the way to go. 100% sorting mode is the way to go. That is the one I prefer. I added stocking mode because I knew we needed it, but sorting is the game I wrote. Stocking just kind of got stapled on. And we tried to do our best with it, but it was not my primary intention there.
Yeah.
and if you have any bugs or feedback or feature requests, join the Discord and tell us because we
Please.
will do them. We do
Absolutely.
listen.
That is what it is there for. Give us all the feedback ever. Tell us how wonderful or terrible you think the game is. Gannon's over here secretly playing Smort while pretending to play Can Do. I know.
No, I'm actually secretly joining your Discord while secretly playing Can Do, while secretly paying attention to your podcast as well.
And I mean, we did that. We did the soft launch, but we will be doing a more public event about the formal launch of Daily Chess Sudoku coming up here shortly as well.
Oh yeah, I want to
Gonna-
try that too.
Gonna make a big deal out of that one. We may run some kind of contest. The thought had floated through my head. I need to work out details and run them by my business associates. But
No,
yeah,
but seriously, where's the third thing of fluff? I can't find it.
I think
Control
you can
F.
share your screen. Do you need some help? We
Hold
will
on.
gladly help you here.
It's the
Share-
leftmost icon.
Is it this one? Yeah,
It's the left one.
Where is it? Where's the fluff?
Where is the
And then-
fluff?
And I think Jason has to
I
promote
got
that to make sure it actually goes out.
I got it shared here. So we're looking for the red
There it
label
is, I
with
found
the
it.
yellow letters. There you go. There
Got
you
it.
go.
Yeah. This game isn't really addictive at all. It's not one of the better things I've played. It's chocolate, chalky milk, chocolate milk. Yeah.
And we are,
Uh,
before people go and report it, we are aware if you attempt to play this on your phone, we have a viewport bug and it all scales stupidly out of thing. It was an accident in getting the Android version worked out, and we will be fixing it soon.
You're telling me I can play this on my phone?
No.
We're not telling you you can't. We are telling you that there are some graphical issues, but
Yeah, it breaks in the viewport weird thing, and it will load. The game will load, whether or not you can scroll down and find the board because it's so zoomed out because Jason doesn't know how to mobile.
I'm just hearing eventually I'll be able to play this on my phone, so I may as well just quit my
Yes.
job. Like, it's over.
The App Store version is coming within a couple weeks.
yeah.
And as in a matter of hardware and also money for registration, the iOS version or a actual native mobile version for the app stores is coming. It may not be as this big of a board because device sizes,
Yeah.
but
That's
Yeah,
where a
speaking of
lot of
which,
my go ahead.
Are you able to configure the size of this? Because I would love this with like this many shelves.
You are not
Just
yet, but you know what? Throw it in our Discord. We'll keep track of that because that's something we've been considering, especially for the mobile versions, to make it a little more playable on smaller screens because they get tiny.
It would probably work on like an iPad pretty easily.
yeah, I would play
Also
this on
because
iPad.
then touch. Because then like also touch would work a whole lot easier.
Oh, not that one. Where's the star sauce? There it is.
If somebody wants an iPad version, donate us an iPad and we'll write you an iPad version.
And a membership to whatever the iOS development toolkit, which is like $100 a year or something.
I think it's only $100 once.
It is an annual membership. Otherwise, I'd still have it.
Oh. Okay.
Because we did have one at one point in time when we first wanted to get into iOS development decades and decades ago.
When you got that iPod Touch.
And that Mac Mini, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, 100 a year, Grant confirms. Thank you for that. But yeah, it is finally time to renew it. We're finally ready to do it 10, 12 years later.
And also, yes, for the people that were, yes, Steam. Also, it's a matter of getting executable and stuff packaged and stuff set up. And if you do go get Can Do, and you or either on the web or through itch, it is an actual category on Twitch now too.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
We do have it registered.
Yes.
You can be playing in the Can Do category on Twitch. Feel free to stream it and set your category to that. I would love that. We are going to just lose you to this. That's your new plan for May. There is no wheels in motion. There is Gannon plays Can Do.
He's got to finish one so he can post his score.
I'm starting Hurglethon right now.
The month of Gandu.
It's perfect. I like it.
It's perfect.
I like it a lot. Texas chili. Texas chili.
I wonder how small of a machine you could set up to stream, and you could just have Can Do running on it and outputting a perpetual watch stream.
We do have Grant in the chat. I should probably check with him. Hey, what happens if I just set up a game to play itself and stream like 5 different accounts worth of autoplay content? I mean,
have you seen the always on category?
No, nobody gets in trouble for broadcasting Placid Plastic Duck Simulator. Salty Bet's a thing. You got a point there. Man, that's what we need. Bring back Salty Bet.
Oh no. Salty Bet is still a thing. I watch it regularly.
I want Salty Bet connected to some AI. And I know we yell about AI every week, but that's a good use for it.
What do you mean?
Character generation.
I mean, it basically is already.
Well, they add new characters all the time, but some person put those together. No, I want some 3-armed, 4-fingered monstrosity fighting against Missing No, you know?
Okay.
Just dynamic characters in a fighting game.
No,
made up
there's
on
a lot
the fly, imagined.
Imagine a world in which,
man, oh man, wouldn't that be good times? That would absolutely be good times.
I really want to finish this before we finish the podcast.
Oh, you're safe. I'm stalling for content now. I'm absolutely going to allow you to get your high score into the high scoreboard. I'm enjoying just watching it, man.
Well, the other thing we had on our list was soundtracks. And while the soundtrack for Can Do is very great, and more songs will be coming, yes, we're aware they get repetitive when you're sitting here playing this for, 10 to 15 minutes at a shot, or unless you're Speepo and it's like 4 minutes.
Hey.
I'm salty about it, okay?
All right. Is there a question there about soundtracks?
Best in the zone soundtrack for working. What's your go-to music to like I need to do a thing. I need to focus. Like, what do you put on while you're what is your background noise of choice?
Well, I do like to tune into um I like to tune into Twitch streams at work. That is good background noise for me. But um when there's not a stream on that is conducive to me working, I actually have started building up a playlist of VGM for work. It is a playlist called VGM for work. And playing to type, the first three videos here are Metroid.
Nice.
So they're good mixes of some of the more ambient type Metroid tracks. There's a lot of stuff, especially from the Prime series, that's really, really good at just being like soothing and relaxing. There is an old video called 5 Hours Relaxing Video Game Music, which is, as it says on the tin, it's 5 hours of relaxing video game music. So I strongly recommend both of those. The playlist that I have also has some Zelda music. It also has Baldur's Gate 3 music. Um, it has an album called Super Metroid Relics of the Chozo, or Relic of the Chozo, which is it's like 14 years old. It's still one of the best remix albums I've ever heard.
Ooh.
It's so good. Uh, and there's Hollow Knight on here as well. So
You're
all of
hip
those are
to
good. And I'm
Stephen
sorry,
Morris's Metroid Mutations album, right?
I haven't heard Metroid Mutations.
You should check that out from my good close personal friend Stephen Morris. It's a little 5-track EP, and
Uh, I probably have heard it then because I've listened to a lot of Stephen Moore stuff.
yeah,
I don't remember if I've added it to any like libraries. Is he on Bandcamp?
I'm pretty sure he is. If he's not, I'll go kick him and tell him he should be. But
Okay.
I know he's on all the other streaming services and stuff.
He was invited to a Zeldathon at one point, and I think it just didn't work out to bring him there. But I was actually very excited to meet him when I thought it might be in the cards.
Well, it's not out of the realm of possibility altogether. You know, we can
Yeah.
we can see what we can arrange because he's definitely still interested. He is still interested. I will say that he is on
The
Bandcamp.
future was bright.
I'm getting confirmation there.
Okay.
But yeah, I did borrow some of the tracks from Metroid Mutation in putting together the soundtrack for Big Secret Game on Saturday night. Um,
Big Secret Game has a soundtrack. You heard it here first.
I am excited for that. I really am. I got to reach out to a lot of really awesome people to put that together, and I think it really ties things together really well. I said really like 7 times in that sentence. I really need a new word. Really.
Oh, I think I also heard a Lacey Johnson track
Absolutely.
in there.
Absolutely. And Glasses, who's known for synthesizer remakes of tracks. And man, there's some good stuff. Um, Jackson Peroty's supposed to have a track on there, which I need to poke him
Is
about
there
again today, but that's beside the point.
oh, supposed to, not currently does, but want to in the
there's,
future?
there's, he's supposed to give me the final version of something. How about that?
Okay.
I've heard what he's been doing. I'm supposed to get the final one I can cut apart.
Will it be ready for Saturday?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's go.
No, I have been leaning on him about that and everything. But yeah, it's
Him
it's awesome.
him stalling on that song reminds me of Trent from Daria. They were doing a school project and they asked him for a song and he like spaced out on it. It's like, oh, I'll get it. It's like we needed like 5 seconds of music once. It's like, oh, I'll get it to you in like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's okay.
I'd rather have something he's happy with at the end of the day though, you know. Nice. Nice. Congrats.
Is this any good?
Well,
The world
Hit
never
submit
knows.
score.
590 combo points, 1440. Let's see. Let's see. It did not make the top 10, unfortunately.
These are
Oh
these are
yeah,
big numbers.
we need
to fix the score display. Your score is significantly higher than what you saw, I promise.
Okay.
We need to show your score
Yeah.
on there to
In
see
comparison.
where.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We can do that. We can do that.
keep the local one, pull the top 10 to show what you just submitted.
Man, look at that.
So are you seeing
Steve-O.
some of these?
Yeah. If you go to high
Yeah.
scores,
Yeah.
the ones
I'm
with the
trying to
can.
figure out how to take care of the artifacting that you're pointing to.
Oh wait, this is stocking. I want sorting.
Yeah.
And I took a break in there to show you guys VGM for work, which I guess it didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't switch to because this is a good product and is not gonna accidentally switch to like my email or something.
Well,
That's
I'll,
nice.
I'll go ahead and take it off stream for the moment so you don't have to worry about that. You should
No,
be
we're
set.
fine. We're good. The other tabs I had up were your can do h.io page, the VGM for work playlist that I plugged, and your Twitch stream so that I knew what was live and what wasn't.
Erring on the side of caution. Yeah, I absolutely understand that one. Well, congratulations on your completion of a round of sorting. Maybe a little practice is in order if you want to crack that top 10, but it's not an unachievable goal. Remember, you get mad combo bonuses for like items next to each other.
Wait, what?
Yeah, if you have like 2 shelves of mayonnaise next to each other, you get bonus for that. Oh, and I have just taken his whole evening away from him, haven't I? I am such a monster now. Uh-oh.
Earn bonus points by having multiple shells filled with the same
Yeah.
item in a row, horizontally or vertically.
We will be showing that. We will be showing when you have they turn green when they're the same. If you have that adjacency bonus, we have something coming that will show like they will sparkle or something to show like bonus points are being applied to let you realize that in case you didn't actually read.
Yeah,
But
reading is for chumps.
Who reads
So is the grapple
instructions
beam.
anymore? Yeah.
Yeah.
Grapple beam is for chumps.
Yep.
Did I tell you what I finally decided on for the grapple beam in the game?
No,
It doesn't do anything.
it's
All
for
it
chumps.
does is stop you from shooting. Because you're shooting
Neat.
the grapple beam. But you're moving too fast.
There you go.
It is the chumpiest. It is absolutely the chumpiest. I wanted to lean into that.
I hated Super Metroid because of the grapple beam. I could not get the handle of it, and I'm like, no, I know how to platform. I don't need to swing.
Super Metroid was an excellent attempt as a proof of concept, as a piece of research into what they could do with Metroid. It led them to great discoveries. Inherently, in and of itself, it is a very difficult to play game, and I do not mean that the game difficulty is high. Like
Yeah.
it is unintentionally overly difficult to play. It's still
I agree.
good.
It came out fairly early in the life of the SNES, right?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Was it just a victim of like people didn't know what to do with all of these buttons yet?
I think that's part of it, and part of it is as a genre of exploration platformer, it was still in its adolescence. They were still finding out how to make a Metroidvania when they made the Metroid and the Vania. And that's why they serve as archetypes now, is it was the things pioneered by those games. In my ever so humble opinion. But I don't know nothing about video games. Y'all know that.
Says the guy who makes video games.
That doesn't count for nothing.
Has anyone
There are
made
two
an
game
actual
developers in this podcast right now, and I got to tell you, I have not made a game.
Has anyone made an actual Metroidvania?
Not yet. That
Like
I'm
just
aware of.
Samus dropped into like the castle and picks up like,
So
whip beam and holy water bombs and stuff.
there's
He's got
kind of the opposite. Of course he has a notebook out. So you can play Super Metroid Rando,
Right.
and one of the cosmetic options you can change is the sprite that's used for Samus. So I played that a month ago or so on the orchestra channel because we were trying to get a Twitch presence going. And I changed my skin to Alucard from Symphony of the Night. And I changed the ship skin to a platform that looks kind of Castlevania-y. It didn't work as well as I was hoping. And
Alucard and Brinstar. Okay.
yeah, unfortunately, those are really the only two things that it changes. But like, that's kind of like playing Vania Metroid, Castle Troid,
That's
whatever you want to call it.
every time I generate an SMZ3R ROM, I swap Samus and Zelda and two links stacked on top of each other in SM. You know, you have to. I have to at least. It's just the way it goes.
There's some other goofy ones too. If I don't know. I keep thinking maybe I should play more Super Metroid Rando. Then I think, no, you should get back to Ocarina of Time Rando. Then I think, no, you should just play something else.
You should sleep a couple hours a night. Yeah, I know. I did grab the sprites, like all the sprite options out of the SMZ3R archives for a thing I might be working on. I'm not gonna say anything else. I'm just gonna stop there. I've already said too much. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. I don't even
Scrub it from the podcast. We'll fix it in post.
I have
What
Jiggy's
do you
problem.
what
I
do you
leak
play though?
too much.
What do you play?
I mean, I just finished playing Dark Souls for the first time. So I'm a little bit in the search for a new permanent game or a new like regular game. I am hooked on a mobile game, Star Trek Fleet Command, which parts of it are good and parts of it are just not. And every day I feel like, man, I could see myself sending another few $100s on this, or I could see myself quitting cold turkey. And each one is like equal possibility.
Yep.
So
We may have razzed him a little bit about that in the past. That started when they offered to sponsor a Zeldathon segment, right? Like we did a stream, a sponsored stream showing that off with the team. I remember that. That was really cool, though. That was really cool. I can't.
There's a lot that's really cool about the game. There's a lot that's really stupid about the game. And also, like, it's a mobile game, so and more than that, it is a competitive mobile game, which means that if you are playing the game and you have not spent thousands of dollars, you will lose to the people who have spent thousands of dollars. Not you might lose, you will lose.
Yeah.
Period. It's just like
it's going to happen. That's what we
that's
should
not
do.
that's not fun. If I want a competitive game, I'll go play like StarCraft or Counter-Strike or anything that has people at a level playing field.
Maybe that's what we should do for Zeldathon. As Hergel Studios, we should sponsor a Let's Cafe stream. When we get that one finished, we'll just have all the directors take turns playing it. It'll be great. It'll be fantastic.
You could skin that into like Zelda theme, like have all the patrons be different like characters and monsters that come in, all the components. You're making different potions or something.
Happy Mass
Crazy
Cafe.
Tracy's potion shop. They're coming in for potions. I need a potion that I need a health potion. Like, give me 3 health potions and a mana potion, or a mana potion 2 or whatever. And they're coming in and you're mixing stuff.
I thought you were the one that was telling me I shouldn't be taking on all this new stuff, and here you are with the amazing ideas. We're gonna make
GitHub issue, file it was eventually to do, and
tag it.
It'll never get done.
Tag it featured. Tag it not for Jay.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're coming up on time. Thank you very much, Gannon, for joining us today. Remember, Metroid Marathon coming up this weekend. You should be following the Metroid Marathon channel, Metroid_Marathon already, because I shouted him out, and you are a good and loyal fan and do what I order you to, right? That's how this works.
All hail Hypno J.
But I really appreciate having you here and getting some perspective on that, hearing a little bit about what kind of stuff we're going to put on a pizza for you this weekend. And like I said, I will be posting in the Discord later to remind everybody when my segment is coming up. But do feel free, like, please come watch the whole event. Come give some money to a good cause. Anything else you guys want to get in before we call it for the evening?
Grapple beans are for chumps.
100%. Absolutely right.
That's
Fantastic.
all I want to say.
You. Thank you all for being here with us on the Blue House Bull Session. We will catch you next Wednesday. Till then, be safe, be well.
Bye.